keep it saucy and gangsta.
And we're probably going to talk about ACC for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about ETC a little bit, and we definitely do not do that saucy gangsta. I can't.
Who does that?
What's ATC?
Spiky bit?
Oh,
American Team Championships.
yeah.
Okay.
For 40K.
All right.
They occurred this weekend, and they happened, and now they're done.
Yeah.
I really like
Pretty
I've
big,
said,
exciting stuff.
like I've said before. I don't really know how to feel about the team component of 40K.
I learned a lot more about it really over the weekend. I was, I'd never followed
Did
the
you
team
watch any
stuff.
of the streams?
No, I did not.
It seemed like the Spiky Bits guys streamed just their guys.
Well,
I don't
I
know
mean-
if that was the case.
I mean, why wouldn't they? Why?
Because I don't know. They're a hobby central. You know what I mean? That'd be
Sure,
like,
but it's
that'd
them.
be like the LVO stream only being the Frontline Gaming guys.
I guess.
You know what I mean? It just I don't know. Did you watch any of the stream?
No, I didn't.
How do you feel about team play in 40K?
It's okay. I have no problem with
Well, I don't have a problem with
do you
it
know
either.
how it works versus just like regular?
it. You're talking
Singles-
about it in the like the grand tournament, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I know how it works. Basically, there's
Well, they're different though, because this is how many players are there on the teams in ATC?
5.
Okay, because some are as many as 8.
ETC.
ETC is 8?
ETC, which I believe is next weekend, the European Team Championship.
But yeah, basically your team can only have
ask.
one entry.
You were thinking it.
Like every
So are the viewers at home.
player can only use a codex once, essentially. Is how it
Yeah,
works.
like if we were all on a team, we couldn't have 2 Eldar players or
Exactly.
whatever.
You couldn't have 2 players using an Eldar codex. Everyone has to use. I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely okay with it.
No, I'm cool with that too. I don't have any problem with it necessarily. It's just weird for me to.
I'd be cool with it as long as I won.
Right.
It
That's
changes
fair.
up the meta in a cool way that I think is really
No,
nice.
and that's totally fine. But that's also what I don't know how to fully gauge it, right? Because like you see lists at ATC that you don't see anywhere else, right?
Well, yeah.
And that's
Well,
okay. There's
one of-
nothing wrong with that.
One of the top 5, the on the winning team.
Can we answer
One of
Eli's
them was
question?
a.
Eli, since I'm here, absolutely not.
I don't know what the question was.
Hey, last week you
can't
said
read
you were
it.
going to bring a
40K
pillow. I
the whole
don't see a
episode.
pillow.
No, it won't be 40K the entire episode, Eli. Even though you need to play some 40K, bro.
You need to play a lot of 40K. One of the lists was a triple Shadow Sword list,
Really?
and you don't ever see that.
No, I know.
No, it was a triple Shadow Sword, 3 Astropaths, 2 Trojan support vehicles.
Why was that the guard entry?
What?
Why was that the guard entry?
because
that's-
they're meant to do a certain thing, right? Like
Well,
that's why it's different from.
I get it, but I just thought there was a better use for Imperial Guard than Triple Shadow Sword.
I agree, but I actually listened to a podcast just this morning from Juice, who was one of the players
Did
on the
he
winning
address
team.
why he flipped out on the stream?
He did not mention it.
Okay,
no.
I was curious what was going on because he was like pretty livid when I was watching.
And you didn't keep watching? I feel
It
like
was
that
on
would
in the
be
back.
the most entertaining part.
Well, listen.
40K
First of all, those guys are all kind of they're douchebags. Like, there's really no other way to put it. Like, dude, I'm telling you, like they'll have a battle
Coming out
report.
publicly, huh?
Well, I
You
mean,
call
like,
them out?
well, no, not necessarily. I mean, it's just their style is not. So, like, if Brad and I were playing a battle report, we'd be like, yeah, here we got this Coca-Cola can. It's going to do the nasty, and it's here to be spicy and gangsta for the whole battle.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You need to watch some of their stuff. It's like,
Who is they?
That sounds entertaining.
it's not, though.
Who is they?
the Spiky Bits guys,
Okay.
like the Forge the Narrative guys, right?
Is that
They just-
that's not Juice though, is it?
Yeah,
is it?
he Juice does the battle reports.
Okay.
The worst one is the Kenny.
That sounds
The
good to
Kenny
me.
guy.
Dude,
it's not.
I think
I
it'd
don't
be way better
I
than
don't
being
know.
like some guy pushing his glasses up like,
Dude, I
I'm
understand.
advancing.
I'm not saying that. But like,
the mini
you're not
wargaming people
gang-
are the best.
I'm
They-
gonna
they-
roll these dice and it's gangsta. You're not a gangster. You're rolling.
Rolling dice is pretty gangster.
All right, man. Maybe you should subscribe to their content. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I'm just saying it doesn't do it for me.
I don't really
kind of
ca-
like
listen,
team play.
I just like controversy.
That's fair.
I don't really care.
That's fair. It feels off-putting for 40K. You know what I mean? Like as ambassadors, just so like
Like disingenuous.
right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the first video I ever saw of a battle report, and I'm like, man, people that play this game are like that,
and
I'm
they're
out.
not. They're
No.
not even remotely
No,
like that.
most people are more nerdy. You know, and that's cool. Like,
Well, I can think of a few that are.
Then there's a lot of people
oh
like
yeah,
Brad.
there are people that are off-putting. What'd you say?
And then there's a lot of people like Brad.
That's fair.
There's no one like me, sir.
Thank God.
Sir.
Okay, so that happened this weekend. Go ahead. What are a couple other things you want to talk about?
There was a list in that 300 grot list that was in the
there?
same team,
My goodness.
the same winning team. That list in like one of the final games, he went up against a Space Marines list with Gilman and 5 repulsors with 300 grots.
How did they have 5 repulsors?
Repulsors are dedicated transports. You can take as many as you want.
Wow.
Wait, they are?
Yeah.
I always thought they were just a heavy
No,
support
dude,
choice.
no. Heck no. They're dedicated transports.
I didn't know that.
That's what makes them even worse.
How did they? Was that the entire list?
That was pretty
Because
much
that's like 2,000 points. It's like 300 points per repulsor. It's 1,500.
Well,
Gilman's
that's the point.
400.
Like,
they
these
probably
lists are totally-
had scouts.
These
fair.
lists are totally wonky and something that like
Yeah, but
you
40
can't look at them and say, "Oh man, that's cool." In the greater 40K, we'll say meta.
Well, yeah, it's a different meta, but 40K is a lot like that right now, anyway.
I don't
that's,
think
that's,
so.
Yeah, that's how it's been for a while.
I don't think
It's
so,
just
man.
like
You
these,
see the same stuff.
These spamming units of just.
When Jason comes to a tournament here and you and him have the same list, like it's not like the identical list, right?
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
mean,
much.
that's not
identical.
like
It was close.
that's not diversity. That's not like, oh man, it's wonky and all over the place. There's
I mean,
Well,
there is stuff all over though. Which by also
doing
he,
well though.
I mean, yeah,
Eldar Flyer's
yeah, sure.
been doing well for a while.
Yeah, but
but
actually
that's not
they
diversity.
didn't do
Oh, that's my
insanely
point.
well at ATC. Actually, they showed up. They performed okay. But
Yeah. Well, there weren't
they
there
weren't,
weren't
like,
as many.
killing it.
Well, yeah, but the meta changes too, right? Whenever you have a meta change, it's always just going to shake up whatever people are
But it's not
currently
a meta
running.
change. Like whenever Nova takes place, I think in September, it's going to be back to the standard. You're not going to see 3.
well, yeah,
Shadow
it's
Sword
a
list,
different
like-
meta, is what I meant. So things perform differently.
Look,
That's all I
right, but
was
it's
saying.
almost like everything is okay. 99% is the normal meta,
Mm-hmm.
and then ATC comes along. It's hard for me to
Oh,
to
okay.
care about what I.
They actually asked that question if they think the the meta is that different, and the players said they didn't think it was that vastly
Every list I
different.
saw was vastly different than what you normally see.
I didn't
mean,
look at any of the
Brad
lists, so I don't
Chester's
know.
Eldar list. I mean, I think that would perform just fine at a singles event.
did-
Actually, it's one of like the lists I don't even know what I would do against.
How did
it.
AdMech do in the ETC?
They had a pretty big showing. They were all over the place. They were mostly used in supportive roles rather than single codex roles.
Yeah.
So basically, like they were brought along to supplement stuff.
Like-
Which I mean, your Rusty 17s, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, and that 300 grot list, he beat the 5 repulsors.
Yeah, of course he did.
Well, there's
That's
not enough
hilarious.
500 grots.
No, 300
300
grots.
grots.
But each one of those repulsors is going to be firing
It's like 30 shots at
like
least.
36 shots, I think.
Yeah.
And it's
got
gonna be-
two
it's gonna be
cannons
wounding
and
those
then
grots on twos.
Twin heavy bolter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like with
No,
Gilliman.
I know. No, it's. I
Bored. I am.
don't know if I'd ever participate in ATC, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the team tournament's like my cup of tea personally, but
yeah, probably
You
not.
let me know. I will play it in team event.
A team event.
Yeah.
You're
I
a
will
liar.
ruin your chances.
You're a
of winning.
liar.
Oh, okay.
But the
I'm
thing
a
is,
liar?
the thing is, like, you could lose, and that's okay. Like you put from
How much does it cost?
Oh, it's more than you want to pay.
Well, I mean, the entry fee?
Yeah,
Like, how much is it?
I have. It probably at least $50.
Oh, I'll pay $50 for a good day. Yeah.
The point is, like, you're like, okay, I need you to go not lose to him. You don't got to win, but don't lose. And if you do,
it's
keep
don't
it close.
it's don't lose really bad.
yeah.
Oh, well, I'm going to lose really bad. I'm going to try and make up rules.
People do it all the time.
I mean, I'm going to blatantly do it.
People do
This
it all
guy
the
can
People
time.
do that all the time.
This guy can fly.
This guy
Um,
can fly.
So okay, I don't know. ATC it just doesn't tickle me, I guess. Ian, how you doing, sir? Let's see. So what else we got going on? Chaos Nights.
Yeah,
Chaos Knights
Chaos
came
Knights
out.
came out.
I've been doing a lot of digging through that codex for Chaos Knights, and there's some pretty
Hello.
interesting stuff in there.
Oh,
that
hi,
I
Jake.
really
Hey, Jake,
enjoy.
you're
You
here.
said Ian, how you doing? That's my middle name. I totally thought you were talking to me. I was so
I had no.
confused.
I probably knew at some point your middle name was Ian, but I will never address you by your middle name.
Yeah,
I
there's
was
some,
really confused. And
there's
then I was
some
like,
pretty
oh,
interesting stuff.
we
in
have
that codex.
an audience.
You can do
Hey, do
you
you
can
think
give like
we could
knights
have,
plus
like, a
3 to plus 4
secondary
attacks.
conversation while
You
they're
could take it the
doing
other
this?
way to where you
Secondary
have.
conversations are very bad for the podcast.
Yeah, I know. You could take it the other
You
way
gotta
to where
wait
you
and
take a
listen.
knight and give him plus 2 movement and then plus 3 to an advance and charge rolls, and then he can also advance and charge as well.
Heck
Pretty
yeah.
insane. You could just cross
Heck
the
yeah.
table in a single turn.
It's kind of like what House Terran can do.
Yeah.
House Terran can do some really
Yeah.
like crazy movement stuff like that too.
Yeah, so it's just really neat, and the models just look awesome.
You know
All you
what'd be
gotta do
really
is just
cool
look at
is if you
yourself
could
and
bring
be
like
like-
a chaos army and then 2 chaos knights.
She's
That would be
on
cool.
there
Instead
watching,
of like,
she's
hey,
"You look
I got
bored."
1. You know, it'd be really good. A second one, but I have to bring 2 more.
Well, you could technically bring 2 detachments.
Sure.
You know?
You could. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. I just
Yeah,
think
no,
that's-
I know what you're saying.
that's so
I mean, I guess
stupid.
if you took like a Red Corsairs Brigade,
I'm not taking a Red Corsairs Brigade. That would be pointless.
No, you'd have 900 command points, right?
Yeah, but I have more command points if I take 2 battalions,
But-
which is cheaper.
but
Fair enough.
if you
See, I would
have
just be like,
2,
hitting
but
on
I'm saying
ones.
because you're limited to 3 detachments, right?
Yeah.
So
That's how Sigmar is.
You have 2.
I'm not taking. So that I don't. Let's go into the Knights conversation a little bit deeper. I don't know if it's as good as normal Imperial Knights.
They are way more killy. They are way more
lose,
killy.
They lose their household traits if they're in a super heavy auxiliary.
So do regular knights.
As
Really?
all
Yeah,
knights
no,
should.
knights don't get their household if they're in a super heavy auxiliary.
I did not know that.
You have to take
Yeah.
Are you
So
sure?
how-
Duh.
Are you
so
sure?
how was
that?
Then how,
positive.
then how was the Castellan getting all that?
Yeah, exactly.
3. No, you still have like you mean like with House Raven. You can
Yeah,
still
we get-
use the
take
stratagem
the
because
wrong
he's from the
side.
household, but he doesn't get a household trait.
I could have swore it was getting like the reroll 1s on everything.
That's
That's
the
the stratagem.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
So
a
you,
trait.
people
okay.
are still using
Yeah, duh.
people are
Let's-
still using
Duh.
the household
Okay.
stratagem.
Well, I didn't know
So,
that.
so no, that's exactly the same.
Okay, I didn't know
That's
that.
how it should be.
Yeah.
You also should not have access to stratagems.
But the
That
one
doesn't make
thing
any sense.
that really kind of stoked my ire was that ignore hit modifier.
Stoke
Relic?
my ire.
Yeah.
So
You
he
can't
said
put it
stoke
on
my
a
ire.
tyrant.
Oh,
Yeah.
Would that be broken?
Yeah, it'd be really good.
That might.
It might be broken. It'd be really fun.
So,
You can,
sorry,
have,
we got
you can have a House Mortan do the same thing, but
How about
Yeah.
House Mortarion? I'm sorry. We got. We'll talk more knights as we go on and as you start getting models and start playing. We got a lot to cover this week, a lot. So Sylvaneth come out this week,
yes.
Can't wait.
dude. They're the tree people.
Heck yeah.
They're so cool.
They
looking.
are cool, and they got way cooler models
And
since
they, yeah,
you.
they got
they are
they got
really
new
cool.
they got like this
Hey,
new character.
If you're serious
Awesome.
about that painting competition, like
Absolutely
I will,
serious
I will
about
legit
it.
get into
That's
that.
a great idea.
I might just donate the things
The
in
rest of the
store.
models?
Can we
Or
talk
the-
a little
the
bit
models
about
in the
how that
store,
might
yeah.
actually look?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of idea. I mean, it's not, kind of up in the air. Evan actually cited Ian's store in Ann Arbor like as the kind of the way to do it, and I really like it. We just have to find a display space, but I think that's really cool because you can do it like, I think he said like you pick a category, so like a troop model or troop
Yeah.
/ battle line, whatever. And then the winner of the competition gets voted on by people that come in like that looks the coolest, right? So it's not.
Put a glass dome over the first table there.
We could just
I was thinking about putting a glass dome over the entire store, and
Just
then
so
like air
people-
conditioning the
Yeah,
whole
'cause
thing.
why would you be serious about this, right?
I don't get. How are we gonna get a glass dome, Jake?
You
What?
buy one
Just-
off of
yeah, just get
you-
or
you
a
go to a
plastic,
glass dome
see-through
store.
plastic
a
dome.
glass dome store. Can we back this up a little bit?
You ever heard of those?
Can you give me directions, please?
Here, let me Google it.
I'm sure.
Get
Ann
on the
Arbor-
Google.
I'm sure Ann Arbor has
No,
it.
but in all seriousness, like I would totally donate
No.
them back to you. Like,
I think it's a really great idea.
I think
I
it's
had never
cool.
really thought about doing that, and I think it would help focus more on the
I know you can buy
Well,
them
that's
on
a,
the
that's a
internet.
that's a smaller dome than I was expecting.
more on the hobby side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not always because we do leagues and all that. It's about playing the game.
'Cause
But
you know, the first one I won, I'd be like, all right, the next one's going to be Gundam. And then nobody would enter.
which is
Which means
apparently
you'd win by default.
Again and again and again.
Would you be able to enter a model that you have already painted? So like,
See,
like
that
think
wouldn't
that
make
goes-
sense.
I
That
think that
wouldn't-
goes against
yeah.
the spirit of the.
You're supposed to buy the
I understand
Right,
what you're saying
but
though. Like,
the
but
paint.
you know, I know you're supposed to buy it. So like, what if I was like, okay, hey, I have this guy at home already painted. What if I come along, buy something that's the same price,
Yeah,
and
and-
enter my guy that I've already painted?
How do we know you painted it?
Well, how do we wouldn't sit around and watch everyone paint everything, right?
no,
just
there's going to be somewhat of an honor system, but you know, I mean, if you're trying to, it's not going to be like
It's a small store.
price.
Small people talk. So like if you overhear someone saying, "Oh yeah, I got Ted to paint my model," but we'd get back to us and
Ted would
disqualified.
Ted would just tell me anyway. He'd be like, "Hey, I painted that." So Ted would just win.
And I would say like if a model ever wins, you can never enter it again.
Well, no, yeah, there'd be different categories, right?
Yeah,
so the
'cause
first
they-
one's a
yeah.
troop battle line, the next one's a hero or a monster or
Then
tank.
Gundam.
Well, the way it was explained was that like the winner gets to pick the next one.
Yeah, and I think that's cool and it keeps people involved. And
I
keeps-
would stop as soon as you won and was like, "All right, start collecting kit."
well, I think it's single models, right? I think that's the best way to.
You know what Tim wouldn't pick? Tanks. He doesn't paint those.
He's
That's
got
fair.
enough.
Hey, speaking of which, I built one of my tanks that Ted allegedly bought.
That was so funny. Ted, so he had 3 tanks come in, and Ted was here. He's like, "Hey, take a picture of me and tell Dakota that I bought him." So
It was
here's
his
Ted.
idea.
Yeah,
The bastard.
So here's Ted with these tanks. He's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Ted bought your tanks, man. I'm sorry." He believed me for a day and a half.
Dude, because
To be fair,
you never told me
You
that
have
it was a
sold
joke.
My models.
Yeah,
before.
exactly. That I forgot who it was, but I was
Vin-
like, you
Vin-
literally sold someone's model that they had built and painted and had in the
sold-
case.
I don't think that
No,
he
mine-
sold
mine
a
wasn't built
book
in
I
paint
was
then.
using
Oh,
in the
his was
middle
in a
of a
box.
tournament. Like my codex.
That's the.
Wait, what?
I was playing in
Look.
a tournament using a codex, and you're like, "Sorry, man, I gotta take that from
There's
you."
a lot
You
of-
sold
That
it.
never
Was
happened.
that
That's a
happened?
lie.
Wait, time
That
out,
never happened.
Brett, was it yours?
No, it belonged to. It was the store's demo
Then
copy.
it is completely okay that he
I'm
sold
just
it.
saying,
Oh,
it's
no.
rude.
That didn't happen.
That happened.
Eli
That-
just
that
threw something
happened.
awesome.
What'd he say?
Eli said terrain. Terrain could be a category.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd
that
be
would
cool.
be
That'd cool,
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
I'd
cool
be,
because
I'd
then-
be super stoked about selling just terrain to people, but nobody owns any terrain.
I mean,
would-
like,
listen, there's
could just-
stuff you
you
can
could
buy
just-
for Gundam that's like it's like hangers and shit.
Really?
I'll totally buy that. Yeah.
dude, no, I'm just saying, like, hey,
it could also
even-
be a good ploy to get people to paint your terrain.
I mean, yeah,
We've
if you
already got it,
Now
Ted.
that secret's out. Way to go, Jake.
My bad.
We already have a secret. It's
well,
Ted.
I
throw
wanted-
out the
I
word
wanted to-
ploy. Gotcha.
So there's a lot of pros and cons of
Sorry,
being
Eli.
friends with the
Broke
owner of
our
the
cover.
store. And one of them is sometimes just stuff gets sold.
I never sold out from underneath the
mostly-
terrain.
Well, to be fair, he just
That's
admitted
not
that it
true.
wasn't even his book.
No,
so,
it was the store's book. He was
Yeah.
letting me borrow it.
Yeah.
It was the demo copy.
Yeah, it's
that
his
the store
book. It's
got
his
to
book.
preview
He
it.
sold his own book.
I understand.
That's something he's already paid for.
I don't think that. I don't think
Well,
that
no, he
scenario
didn't
ever
pay
happened
for it.
anyway.
I'm
He gifted that. To
Oh yeah,
me
he gifted me something for Christmas.
and then sold it.
Sold it. Sold
Yeah.
it.
No.
That's
Yeah.
astronomically worse than
I'm
selling.
not, I'm not
Listen,
saying. I'm not
listen,
saying
it's
it's I'm not
funny.
saying
You're a
it's
terrible person.
It's funny.
That's fair. I mean, that's totally fair. The
Oh,
point
God.
was somebody was here to buy it, and I could just replace it.
To be
No.
fair, I also don't think
really
I.
not going to build and
I don't-
paint.
That's another thing, and I also don't think I've ever replaced it. Like,
I
so
was about
that's
to say,
another
I'm pretty
thing.
sure I
Well,
don't
the
think
thing
you
is, I don't
replaced
think
it.
I've ever even proxied it in play. So like, I'm not even sure if I would have played
Wait a
it.
minute, you got a Christmas present? Even though we sold it? I didn't get one.
That's 2 years.
No, you
two
sold
sure
it.
you did.
It was 2 Christmases ago. You got a Christmas present. Yeah,
You're
you
a
did.
liar. All these
Damn way to
lies
go,
about
Jake.
my
You
character are
ruined
unacceptable.
everything.
right now.
None of these are lies. Everything
Why do I
said
ruin
here.
Your
everything?
scenario never happened.
No, that happened. I was
Lord,
playing.
cover.
I was playing on 2 of those tables
a
pushed
true
together. I was
nerdling.
playing against Caleb Maine.
like a true nurgling.
and I was using my Dark Angels. You sold that index out from under me while I was using it.
It's his book. He can sell his own
I don't-
book.
Is
I
that
don't
not?
think
Is
that
that
happened.
still not a shitty thing to do?
No.
Calm down.
Why not?
Calm down.
Because it's his book, and you're just playing a game.
So if you're in the middle of playing the game, borrowing something of mine, if I just come over and just rip it out from under
you-
you and say you can't use it anymore,
Say
If
sorry,
you
man,
say I
sold
need it, say
Well, hey,
I need the
if
book
we're
back.
if we're coming at each other,
I'm not coming at anybody. I just don't like.
there was a point where I was like, "Hey, Brad, can you leave that book here?" He's like, "Well, no, I don't really want to." So like he just totally like everybody else leaves their books here, and Brad was like, "I'm not leaving my stuff here."
The whole premise
Like-
for that was so you could sell it.
Was it unopened?
No.
Oh yeah, so it was the same situation with Jake. We're
And
not
I
gonna
didn't,
get
and
into
I
this
didn't
on
want
the,
you to sell it.
Yeah, the point was you weren't willing to help.
On.
I'm confused. I just think Tim's a terrible person.
That's
I-
fair.
I
I, want
think
to come back to this
I-
painting thing.
I
This
don't
was
think
cool.
Tim's a
Yeah,
terrible
I like
person.
that. Great idea.
I think Tim's
I
the
really
best
like the
boss
idea.
ever.
Not what you said earlier.
As he's
Yeah,
also
What were we
true.
talking about
He
earlier?
also doesn't
Oh,
have a
the-
straight face.
David says, "What was Brad?"
Someone said. You said something about them us having a great boss. I was like, yeah, wouldn't that be
I,
nice?
I wish I had that.
Amen.
I was like, sorry, man, you don't.
This is a
good boss.
joke.
No good boss.
You think you have a shitty boss? I have a shitty brother.
That's fair. Hey, we gotta watch the
Oh,
language.
sorry.
We've
Sorry.
been a little free with it. So yeah, what else we got? All the new terrain for Sylvaneth is this week. And
Yes.
all the new spells. There's floating trees.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
It's a
There are
spell.
walking tree people with
it's-
swords.
So let's make them float.
They're not the ones
It like
that
completely
float.
defeats the like what a tree is. Like,
When are we getting bird people?
Oh, I would love
Wait, what?
bird people.
I think
right?
we have bird people.
What
Don't
bird
we?
people?
Don't we have bird people? I mean, we have birds.
No, the Fate Weaver's a bird person.
It's a demon thing.
Legs
What? You got a bird person. We
I
want
wouldn't-
bird people.
I
I'm
wouldn't
sorry, we need more
categorize him
bird
as a
people.
person.
Wait, isn't that?
He's
Isn't
got
that?
There's a bird
legs
person in
and
Rick and Morty.
stuff,
Isn't
but-
that? There's a.
It's the Lord of
Jordan
Change,
had
a
a-
bird.
I would. Magnus is more of a bird person.
He's a demon.
I don't know,
Just 'cause he
just
has
'cause
wings
he
doesn't
got
mean-
wings?
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's a
Well,
bird.
he's more of a bird
You can make the
person
same
than
argument
If you've got wings, you're a bird, right?
What?
Like-
no
Have you ever met anybody with wings that wasn't a bird?
a bat.
That's a slimy
well
bird.
played.
That's
bat.
a slimy bird.
That's a blind bird.
It's
Our
a
bats
it's
will
a
make-
sky puppy.
I don't know. They're furry.
a sky puppy.
Sky puppy.
They're
What?
sky rats.
What's a sky puppy?
No, they're
It,
adorable.
it may
Some
be
of
a
them are.
sky puppy or
That's
a
what
sky
Jessica
rat,
said
but
when
it sure
I,
as
when
hell
I
ain't a bird.
caught that bat in my house.
They are no, they're not puppies. I'm sorry,
Dude,
Puppies
when,
are
it, when
cute.
I had
Bats
it,
are
I had it in a
gross.
tote.
You
and
ever
It
seen
was
those
like
giant
flying
fruit
all around.
bats? Like they're pretty cute.
I don't know. I used to hit
I
him with
cuddled
tennis
with
rackets
one.
at home.
A giant fruit bat.
I don't know what
How
kind of
many
animal it
animals
is, but-
exist that aren't
Used to
cute?
bullseye him with my T16 back home.
Oh,
Everyone's-
shots fired.
Everyone's throwing shots at Brad.
You just
Why?
well,
They
someone
don't
called you
agree
a
with you,
cry
Bill,
baby.
at all.
Someone
Buy your
said,
own
"Buy
damn
your own
book."
damn book.
Oh my!
Tim,
And then someone
Tim
said-
is a sketch character.
Who
Probably
said
a
that?
good boss though.
Probably a great boss.
Oh my god!
No, bro, we gotta go with Sky Puppy.
David?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
David.
dude, like, Sky,
Can
he
we,
said
can
Sky
we
Rat.
like put Sky Rat in here somewhere?
Why?
Like,
There
it's
is
got
one
to
in the-
become a part of crowd.
There's a lot of bird Sky Rats in the
What?
ceiling sometimes.
There's
Birds?
a bat in the ceiling.
There's never been a bat that we know of up there.
No, I don't think there's any
I've
bats.
never heard
definitely
any
birds, though.
echolocation. They're not in the ceiling. They're in the. Listen, they said they would take care of it.
I haven't
They
heard them in
have-
a while. To be fair.
There's a lot of dead birds outside. Anyway,
Who's excited for the next Night Monkey movie?
that was hilarious.
I
Did we
like
talk
that
about
movie.
Spider-Man
I don't
last
think
week?
we
It'll be a
we
while.
did, we
It'll
did.
be a
Talk about
while
it?
Oh,
before
yeah.
we see the next Night Monkey movie.
Yeah.
There will be
I-
a multitude of Marvel movies.
I thoroughly
before we see.
enjoyed.
Some people don't like the humor, like
What is getting a bit old?
right. But the Spider-Man, I thought the Spider-Man movie was fine.
I thought it was hilarious.
Like the Night
I liked
Monkey
it.
thing,
I'm
like
not dogging it.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like I
no,
can.
I get it.
can
That's like some people's
understand it.
major critique. But even like Infinity War, there was humor in that movie, but it wasn't overdone. I didn't think.
Not like Star Wars.
No, yeah.
I didn't want to bring it up.
I think.
you know what?
Why do you say
It
that?
wasn't even
when-
funny.
tried
Those
not
two
to,
words.
but I
It
had to
wasn't
finish
even
But it's
funny.
true.
Well,
it's true.
I think a big part of it is nailing the serious parts, which I think Spider-Man and Infinity War and Endgame all did
David
well.
said, "Hang Jake on the ceiling, Sky Rat."
"Oh no!"
He's not a rat. He doesn't have wings.
We'll glue him on hot
What?
glue.
He's not a sky rat.
he said,
doesn't
"I'm
have
not a
wings.
rat."
I
He
got
doesn't
you.
have wings.
That's what I was confused.
Wait, what's happening?
Listen, I was just saying, like we got to put a bat in the logo or something, like, and we'll call it a sky rat.
We could just like pirate the Batman logo
Why would you do that?
and just like
You
write
got-
Acropolis in it in crayon.
You just gotta change it a little bit, right?
What?
Make the edges of the wing curl up. You're good.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it works.
You're good.
There's been a
I'm
bunch
pretty
of
sure.
different
I
logos,
think he's
though.
onto something.
Did you? I know
He
someone.
is not.
I know someone who started a clothing company who capitalized on
You know, there's over
like-looking
there's
sports logos. So
over
like,
200 Batman symbols, right?
okay, well, so
No, there's not. I've
so
seen them. There's only one.
I had a friend.
You just
There's
literally
several.
just said them.
I've seen
you use the plural form.
I had a friend who sold clothes and hats and stuff for Detroit Tigers with a misfonted D that kind of looked
So,
like the Detroit
so he
D.
was bootlegging
And
Tigers.
according to him,
Yeah.
it was legal.
It was legal.
According to who?
Eli says
Law,
he's getting
'cause he-
tired
he
of
did
all
it
that
for
Iron Man in
years.
his Night Monkey
Doesn't mean
movies.
it's legal.
No,
It means
he had
didn't
an
get caught.
actual business.
That just
Yeah,
means
you know
he
what?
didn't get caught.
You know,
What do you mean?
Eli does bring a good point. I'm
He did
sorry.
it
Go
in
ahead.
Detroit.
I gotta finish this real quick. All right. So, have you seen some of Tim's delightfully ironic shirts,
Yeah.
those are illegal.
To sell, not to buy.
Yet, exactly. Yet there's a business that thrives on the internet for years doing it. How do you think that happens?
Because they have to
Why
hit
is
them
it
with
illegal?
cease and desist, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the shirts are only available for one day, because then they hit them with cease and desist. Like, we're already done, bro.
Exactly.
Because they can't take action against you if you stop doing what they ask you to stop doing.
Right.
Which is crazy, because they're like, we already made $100 grand on this design. We'll move on to our next one that's coming out tomorrow.
So they only sell them for 24 hours.
right. Yeah, that's.
I'm just saying they haven't been caught yet. That's not legal, Jake.
It's definitely not legal. That's like a big problem. That sports memorabilia that's being sold that's not licensed.
Right, yeah.
It's like a huge deal.
You got to have
It's
that
like
shiny
what,
tag.
It's got to have that little shiny sticker, right?
That's like what China does. Like all China
Oh,
does
yeah.
is they steal
Yeah.
intellectual
lot of
property
stuff, yeah.
all the time.
I've heard of places in China like making this tumbler, right? So like, let's say I make this and it costs me
I
20.
thought the Tumblr was a Batmobile.
Okay, cost me
thought it was a
$20 to make
website.
this, right?
That was a website.
And then I sell it for $35 plus shipping. In
Yeah.
China, they sell it for $25 free shipping. You're like, what? Like I
Because
can't.
they made 10 million of them.
Well, with
$5
slave
times
labor.
10 million is...
it's not
I
slave
mean, they're
labor if
making
they're
shit
getting paid,
for
right?
free. What's that?
It's not slave labor if they're getting paid, right?
Well, sure, Jake. Say that to people that want $15 an hour minimum wage everywhere. See what they tell you.
Check this math. What's 5
Okay,
times
what are
10?
some of these comments?
million.
Eli says he loves your shirts.
The
No,
shirts
no,
are
they-
great.
they
No,
are
they
shirts
are
are
illegal.
Amazing. I'm not dogging it.
The shirts are great, but they are illegal.
Well, not illegal. Okay,
It's not illegal, like... It's not,
illegal.
like
It
Tim's
is-
breaking the law.
it is.
That's
No,
not what I
I'm,
wasn't
the,
trying to say.
the consumer is fine.
Yeah.
Because
right.
like it's not my job, it's not my burden to make sure like all the.
I got a couple of them, too. I got a Dragon Ball Z, Iron
Until you brought up the
Maiden
one time with the Dragon
shirt.
Ball one,
Yeah.
I had no idea. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, man, this is really cool, all these crossovers, but it makes total sense.
Yeah. Like, you got one that's Star Wars and Pulp Fiction. Like, those guys got into a room and were like, let's sell a shirt.
There's a lot of cool. I mean, there's a lot of great shirts. But
I
yeah,
like how
it's-
that's what came out of the conversation.
Yeah.
How about shirts?
Well, you really are.
Quentin
like-
Tarantino and George Lucas was like, we should make shirts.
And then George Lucas was like, and then we'll recall them and do it over again.
Do it again.
Like 8
and
times.
worse.
It'll be amazing.
You know the.
We need to make a shirt
and
trilogy.
then we'll add metachlorians.
oh,
Let's get Steven in on
Man, they're
this
gonna be off
business.
the scale.
midichlorians still are not worse than Leia flying through space.
I gotta say that probably
still
would-
not worse.
I wonder how much flack the prequel trilogy would get if they didn't do the midichlorians.
Probably a lot. Do you remember the sand scene?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
you
scene.
mean where like
No.
basically
There
the
was a
entire
lot of
movie
sand.
No,
takes
no,
place
no,
in
no.
Tatooine?
He's not talking about when they were in the sand. He's
No, I
talking
know.
about, I hate sand.
It's all gets everywhere. Yeah.
That was truly awful.
Nothing
I don't
wrong with that.
remember this.
That was nothing
What
wrong with that
was it?
scene.
What was it?
Okay, so what,
Two. Yeah.
Two is
What-
probably the worst one.
why is everyone? What
Two
do you
is the
mean?
worst
Like,
one.
what do you mean with the midichlorians thing? Like, what do you like?
They
I,
retcon the Force.
Well, yeah. Well,
And then re-retconned it back because they're like, nobody liked that. That was dumb. Remember when he took Anakin's blood? He's like,
yeah,
there's
he's
a lot
like
of
the
midichlorians
midichlorians
here.
are off the scale.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
And then you don't realize how they never went back to that? Because everybody hated it.
well, they explained it,
What?
or what's it
Really?
called?
They tried to
Dark
apply
City,
science to
Dark
a
Sidious
fantasy
explains.
series.
Okay, that's
Dark
fair.
Sidious explains a little bit to Anakin in 3,
Did you say
I think.
Dark Sidious?
Does he really?
Yeah, he has a conversation
About midichlorians?
I think when they're talking about
Yeah.
Dark Plagueis.
Yeah, it's about rearranging the midichlorians to
Really?
keep to prevent death.
Yeah.
And I believe that was the way that
Really?
he created life. In the case of Anakin,
And what?
he is the reason that Anakin exists without a father, basically.
Wait, so
We
Darth
talked about
Sidious
this before
actually...
on
so
here.
Palpatine actually created Anakin? Is that canon?
That's what they imply. Yes.
Really?
When did they imply that? I
Or
don't
wait, no, I'm
remember
sorry.
any of
George
that.
Lucas said it at some sort of.
Oh, okay.
I missed
Oh, okay.
that whole thing, and that makes me want to watch Star Wars. If something like that was in the movie, it'd be great.
But the problem is they're like, hey, Palpatine really made him.
No, dude, no.
Yeah.
No,
But
George,
the problem
at
is
this
they're
point,
like,
George
hey,
Lucas,
let's do Lord of the Rings in space.
dude, this entire concept is like
That
is
sucks.
It's not even
it's
creative
to
enough
George
to be what it
Lucas
is.
like, oh my God, what is her name?
J.K.
J.K.
Rowling.
Rowling.
J.K. Rowling to Harry Potter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? Sidious is Anakin's father, right?
No, it would be
Yeah.
it would be okay
Not father,
if it
he
was.
just made him
George
exist.
Lucas constantly redid stuff.
Basically,
though. He
yeah.
changed it.
Not. There was no
not
intercourse.
biologically. No,
Right.
no. Okay, I'm
lot
your,
of the
I'm your
changes are
non-biological
bad, too.
father.
Right.
I'm your
You know, like, I
midichlorian
don't think you can
donor.
get an actual copy of legit.
The first Star Wars that was
that
aired?
was-
Probably
yeah.
not.
Not legit.
No.
Yeah.
Might be able to find it in some like
Might be able to get it on
Goodwill
eBay.
used bin.
Darth Sidious,
Yeah.
Jesus Anakin.
Kinda.
No, that's not correct.
I think technically he God Anakin, and Anakin in that scenario would be Jesus.
Right.
I mean,
Confirmed in the
I was
EU.
mainly just laughing because he
Hey,
used
EU
the
is
term
not
Jesus as
real.
a verb.
The extended universe, yeah.
That would be
Jesus
kind of
did.
cool
Disney
if
kiboshed the
Palpatine
EU.
created, like, manipulated the Force to create Anakin because he was
That
born.
just seems like a really cool concept.
Yeah.
That they need to go down that road.
I can't
Well,
imagine that's
they
where we're
need
going
to
in
not
episode
do
9.
that now.
I 100% agree.
They had a
They
chance
did
to
not
do
do
it.
that
Too
now.
late.
They had
blew it.
they had a chance to do it. They didn't do it
Listen,
right.
I'm probably the only person in here that isn't like really a Star Wars fan.
I think I'm there with you now,
I
Tony.
100% do not count myself as a Star Wars fan anymore.
I don't really
I
like,
agree.
not-
Of
not
the
like
cinematic
anymore,
universe.
Like, I never
Of the
really
cinematic
liked it.
universe, I do like the lore of Star Wars.
Dude,
I like what it is.
I will say that I am not a Star Wars fan, but I really did like the Clone Wars animated series. Thought
I
that
never
was
watched
spot
it.
on.
It was
I
pretty
never
good.
watched it.
It was,
I always wanted to watch
honestly,
it.
if
I've
you
heard a
if
lot
you
of good
like
things.
if you like Star Wars, you would enjoy it.
I don't like that Darth Maul was still alive. I think that's real stupid.
Yeah, I thought that was
Well,
probably
you
Why?
didn't see it
Because
in
you
the
didn't
context of the show
watch the
either.
Yeah,
show.
you only heard about
That's-
it, and you know it's.
I did watch the scene where he comes back and reveals himself to Obi-Wan.
You cannot pick apart a series.
no, I'm not
by a
picking that
scene.
apart. Obi-Wan was like, I killed you once, I'll do it again real quick.
dude. The way they
Seems
introduced
legit.
Grievous,
That,
the way they birth his character
that
in
was
that
a big
animated
mistake
series.
in the movie, I thought. They're like, oh, here's this big bad in the middle of the series.
You guys want to hear
It
a
was even
funny
towards
thing
the end
about
of the
Yeah.
war.
So
Yeah.
Grievous is the robot with the spinny thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Those are arms.
Yeah, because spinny things equals arms.
How-
That makes
On
He
the end of
spins
his
his
Anyways.
arms.
Yeah, because tree people fly too. I mean, we've already
It's the
established.
endless spell that flies, not the tree.
So-
it just is a.
The
There's
endless
I'm
spell is
part
a
of
tree that flies.
I'm part of a miniatures group, and somebody was building a model of Grievous, right? And they painted his lungs and stuff, and it looked really sweet. And then he posted another picture, like a couple hours later, of putting the case over it, and you can see none of it. Hours of work for.
I'll tell you,
nothing.
I for one never do that. If you're not going to see it,
Are you
it's
serious?
not getting any
You don't
pay.
even pay.
Yeah.
Citadel Gray is your favorite color.
It's not true.
It's actually they have a they have a pot for that. It's just called Dawnstone.
Could you imagine? Make your kit look like it just came out of the box.
Applies directly over primer.
Oh no.
Eli said, "Play in a
Still
Star
make it
Wars,
look like shit.
play in a Star Wars RPG, and you'll love it." That Alien RPG comes out soon.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I'm
Jake
so
Campbell's coming
excited
to-
about this.
We are.
I'm
Who's
so
publishing
excited
it?
I
I
don't
think
know
it's
who's publishing it.
it's independent. I think they're doing it on Kickstarter.
Oh God, Kickstarter.
I'm waiting for it to drop, and then I'm going to buy one. I'm not pre-ordering it.
I've been burned from Kickstarter. Remember that?
I thought you were
terrain?
gonna say you've been
never
burned.
got?
I remember because they had the world's worst freaking order form, and it was dumb. It was-
$500. We'll never see it again.
Yep.
I thought you were gonna say,
Kind of like your model.
"Oh, well, that was way less than $500."
Way less.
I thought you were gonna say you were burned by Alien RPGs because like killed you off
That
screen.
was. Listen,
That was really cool.
that was me. That was a case of me being an idiot, not picking up the what you
The
were putting
blatant
down.
signs.
Yep.
So we played a game, and it was a RPG, tabletop RPG. We did it on World of Darkness. And Tim, on the very first day, it was like an hour into the game, punches Jake in the face and breaks his hand, and didn't know that Jake was a robot.
I think I rolled poorly, so I was like, oh, okay, that's my result for rolling poorly.
But
Yeah.
World
And
of
Jake
Darkness,
killed
World
me.
of Darkness
And I
is like supposed to be really realistic.
Yeah.
Like,
And it was because he had white stuff on his hand.
I don't remember that.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we need to,
I
we need to
believe
back
it.
that up a little bit.
No, you've never
Because
seen
it-
Tony's-
because the
Tony's-
aliens,
You
like
said
the
you
man
said
was
punch him in the
milk.
face,
Well,
right?
milk.
It was robot milk.
Tony subtly.
milk.
Tony was being very subtle with the clues.
I mean, I wasn't blatant like, oh, you look at your hand and you see that there's white robot milk on it. I'm like, oh, you broke your
Is
hand.
that the
and you're
canonic
flailing
name
around,
for it, by the way?
And you see something on the end of it. And you're like,
You ignore it.
I
You-
don't care.
So then,
Was Jordan in that game?
yeah.
Okay, so
So he was a little crazy too.
well,
Yeah,
they
he's
were like
always
him and
crazy.
Steve were fighting with like
They had a
the-
standoff over beer and a
So,
motion detector.
That's why
So
you never
I
let
played-
players
I-
drink.
He
I'll
threw
let
me
it play
down the
out, man.
shaft with the alien and it killed me.
Yep.
So I had
That
to.
was super
I
cool,
was
dude.
the robot, and I got to play because
Were you trying to kill everyone?
no, that wasn't my
his
primary goal.
His goal
I'm
was
not sure
to
how you
get the
feel
alien
about
back to
that
Earth.
last comment of Eli's.
And so the didn't really matter about killing everybody or not, but Tim was in the med bay, and I.
So funny.
I,
Okay, Eli, I
we're
regret
playing-
it. Okay, you should have been stabbed in the chest.
We're playing-
Okay, my bad.
We're playing alone. Me, I'm having a solo session with Tony, and
Marty
I,
was the alien, by the way.
I go. I walk around the ship by myself, and I see Jordan and Steve's characters having their stupid mech suit standoff, and then I just ignore them, and I go to the med bay where Tim is all alone, sleeping in the thing.
He's joking around. He's like, I should kill him. I'm like, I will reward you so much if you actually kill him.
So I open.
I want to compel you
So
to actually do that.
And it happened.
I punched the glass, choked him out, took his body, threw it down the elevator shaft. The next,
Wow.
the next time we played, we were handing out everyone's character sheets.
we did not hand his out.
And no, we handed it
Oh,
out,
that's
but
right,
we
yeah.
wrote dead over it. Tim was like, "Oh,
All
okay."
right.
And surprisingly, he was painting a model.
Dawnstone?
Was this this wasn't a one shot then?
It was like
no,
a
no.
4
It
or
was-
5
it was a
sessions.
linked-
So I mean, there was a clear beginning and end to
Okay.
it.
You
We
guys
never
finished
made
it?
it. We never made it to the end because Jordan moved away.
Oh, it was about that time.
I made it to an end.
Your character made it to an end.
So like it was kind of a neat concept because like every people died left and right.
Yeah.
But
I
like
got
there was
already
a
killed
cargo
too.
hold full of people.
They just wake
So
up.
you just roll a new character. And
Oh,
they'd
I was
wake up a
so
new person.
charismatic. I got Artie killed too.
Yeah.
Because like I was like, look, like just because I'm a robot doesn't mean I'm inherently bad.
and Artie was like,
And
yeah,
Steve,
that sounds right.
And Steve was like, I've seen Alien before. All the robots are bad. And then we're like, you can't metagame.
Wait a minute, there are
And then
robots
Artie
and
was
aliens?
like, yeah, like he's been helping us the whole time. Why would we think he's bad? So then,
So then he killed him.
well, I got him killed by the alien because
Here, I thought the movie was about aliens.
and robots and
Spaceships and
corporate corruption. I did do something kind
The
of
alien's
neat
kind of the backdrop,
with
really.
the World of Darkness like theme. You know how you get like bonus rolls, you can get an extra dice and stuff.
yeah, you get like willpower. and
Instead
stuff
of
like that.
willpower, we did sanity. So like you had to, you know how you got your morality?
Yeah.
We did that as sanity instead. So every time you wanted a bonus to your roll, you had to go down in sanity.
Oh, I was crazy.
He was seeing dogs and shit like running around the ship. Wow.
Did you guys
Because
see
he
that
kept
dog?
adding stuff. And I
No.
was like, you see, you get very scared. You see the dog running through,
There's some
and
really
he's
cool
playing
stuff you
to
can
it,
do.
and everybody's like, "Should we be worried about the dog?" I'm like, "You don't see a dog. What do you mean?"
What dog?
So I mean, it's just playing up on like the terror
you see my
aspect
grandma?
of it. Yeah,
No, that's pretty cool.
not
Bro, you
knowing what's
died.
real.
That's kind of how the morality system works. It's not. You don't sacrifice to get bonus die rolls, but it's
Yeah.
basically the same concept where the
Well, I was
farther
just trying
down
to
you
simplify
go,
it,
you
yeah.
do get No,
Yeah,
you
there's
do-
like
yeah.
actually a table you
Why did
roll
David
on.
Dennis
for,
call
like,
me a
the
liar
arrangements.
earlier?
Like people inherently want to do things the right way, and I wanted
Yeah.
to like force them to get
Make-
crazy.
That
Make
was not my
questionable
experience in our
moral
World of
decisions.
Darkness game that I was running. I didn't see people want to do things the right way very often at all.
holy
man-
crap! Did I forget about a whole portion of my life
Yeah.
that
Definitely
I
Or-
didn't forget about any of that. I still want to know what happens to Barry Allen.
I would like to
I want to know what
continue playing
happens.
it.
I learned so much stuff, and then it's just like now
Tim
All
got
the-
tired of providing story.
he got worn out. I get it,
It
but it's been like a
happens.
year since.
I think football had a lot to do with it, but
You can blame it on whatever you want.
that's fair.
it's been a year. It's been over a year, I think.
I really wish we could like stream that or make a
Why
video
can't
of
we?
it.
World of Darkness is fantastic.
There's so many lulls, and then like anybody that watched it that likes World of Darkness to the core.
I don't think we could do it live. We'd have to cut it.
right.
Because we do tangents quite a bit,
Yeah,
and there's a
I mean,
lot of
that's
inappropriateness.
that's most of the fun of playing
Lot of
RPGs
it.
is the tangents. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the
that's
whole,
true, yeah.
like the entire.
There was a lot
Entire
of in your
character.
story. There was a lot of reoccurring inappropriate jokes that I don't think we could
mean,
ever air.
Oh, we can do that.
Even-
We can
even
air
if
it,
we-
as
Depends on
long
the
as we
platform.
don't tell them the context.
Even if we
You know?
didn't do
Some
it
of it was
live,
just
we could
directly
still record it and
inappropriate.
post it after.
Yeah.
Because you can edit out the tangents.
Or
Some of
not.
the tangents are like argument. What were you gonna say?
So, or not. Depends on what it is. Depends
There
on what
was
it is.
10 balloons.
I mean, I'm totally fine with trying to stream. It's just like I think it would be entertaining to watch the story unfold.
Right.
Because just like telling the story, I'm like, okay, this is what's going on, and then like one time, Tony and Jordan you guys were not FBI agents. What was Jordan? Was he an FBI
I don't know,
agent?
man. He
no, his
had like
first
3
character.
characters.
Who was it that you got in a fist fight with while driving?
Oh, that was Cody.
That was Cody. So he was an
Banged
FBI
my
agent.
girlfriend.
Yeah, but
So
like
I punched him while we
so-
were going 70.
So they got a lead on this case that they were following, right? And it was like it over here, and they're on their way, and they start just talking in character, and then all of a sudden it gets brought
Not
up.
all
that-
of a sudden. Like,
well, I
it
mean,
was
there was like-
organically
it
to the
was,
conversation.
No, it was great.
you know?
It wasn't
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna fight. It was an organic conversation,
Yeah.
and they got in a fist fight and then a car accident because they were fighting while driving, and they never found that lead
Yeah.
ever.
Kind
But
of
that-
like how you never found out anything else in that Alien game.
Yeah,
you
because
were
I
dead.
died.
Because you were
I
dead.
died. I miss role playing games.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
I
I
need
miss
to-
them so much. I love
We
We've
them.
need to
been,
get back
we've been
into 'em.
talking about it. I started another one with Artie, but then he had a baby. So
Then he had a baby, and then Tim had a baby.
I got a baby
Everyone's
too, man,
got
but like I'm
babies.
down to role play.
Well,
Okay.
really, like as soon as that Alien thing drops, I'm for sure gonna start one.
I'm down for
I
it.
want to do Wrath and Glory really bad. That'd be
You've
a
been
lot of
saying
fun.
that
You
for
still got
6
that-
months.
I know I have.
You still got that book, right?
I do have.
I'm
it.
really disappointed
We need
that
to-
it hasn't
We need to.
come about.
Well, we need to just read it and go through it and
Yeah.
Brad,
make
if
a name.
we play a role playing game, no accents.
No, I love
Why?
Brad's accent.
Because I don't want Sean Connery showing up.
Well, it depends if it's gonna be Sean Connery. He might not want to show
Brad's
up to
pretty
your
good at
role-playing
role playing
game.
games. I like his.
It's fun.
I like people.
really
I
love
like people who
role-playing
don't
games.
metagame.
No, dude,
and
you
I
know
don't
what I
think
miss?
Brad does.
I miss Soul.
Thank you.
You don't think
I
Brad
miss
metagames?
Soul.
I don't think Brad metagames.
Do we know the same Brad?
We played
I
Soul
don't-
I've
the
had
other
like
day.
3
I'm
or
kidding,
4.
Brad. Stop taking it so personally.
I'm not taking
Talk
it
to
personally.
Jake.
What? No, he souls every once in a while.
We sold for
So
like half an hour.
so check it out.
Soul.
So
Hold on,
It was
I'm
a
still
big-
trying to recover from
No.
the fact that there was souling happening.
I
Okay,
gotta
this
say,
is what I'm
Can
gonna say to
someone
you.
explain to me what
Look,
Souls is?
It's a role playing game.
I'm gonna say the
Jake
same
made
thing
up.
to
Essentially
you.
uses Dungeon World as a mechanic.
I'm gonna use
Okay.
the same thing
but
to you
it's a
that I
sandbox
said to
game.
Perkle 2 days ago. Soul is not your story. All right, it's not your world.
Oh, I know.
To be fair, Soul was kind of my story.
No, it was not. Perkle was like, I can't believe he's playing Soul
Okay,
without us.
so-
I was like, that's like getting mad at every time someone plays World of Warcraft and you're not involved.
I,
Like,
Soul was really
absolutely-
awesome if you didn't get a chance to hear about any of it. But basically,
I remember it now.
oh yeah, where it was like the store
was a
wide.
whole store-wide
Oh,
sandbox.
store-wide. I never got invited. So
everyone's invited.
Okay, to be fair, it was sword and sorcery, which is not your thing.
it's really not my thing, but I wasn't invited.
Everyone was invited.
No, I never got. Dude, I'm all about role playing.
Are you on the role playing page?
Yeah.
Well, he made a post inviting everybody.
We did make a post. No, I
Just because you make a post is not the same thing as me coming up to you and saying, "Hey,
That's
you want to
fair.
play?"
Oh,
That's
that's fair.
I gotta say, I
guess
love
no one ever
that-
did that to me.
I loved that concept. Like everybody that played individually. There were 3.
It would
game
be
masters
nice
at
if
the
it
start.
was, if 2 or 3 people didn't just.
Don't come at me, Jake. I
I'm-
was here every day. It was easy for me to play.
Yeah, he was. I heard about you leveling up super quick.
But to be fair, Dungeon World, it doesn't really matter.
There was a okay. Everyone disagrees with you.
Not the game master, not Jake.
So
There's
you and the
also
game
there's
master.
also a level cap, and the level cap wasn't particularly
It was like level
that
10.
hard to hit.
Yeah. It was pretty
And
easy.
to be fair, it also means that I failed a lot because that's how you level up in Dungeon World by failing. You're like,
Well, if you play a lot, then you know that
You
kinda
killed my
balance-
character.
I killed your character.
Both of
He
you.
killed your
Both
character.
of you did.
It's a fun mechanic.
It
I
was
don't
an
think-
accident. I was trying to save him.
It's a fun
I
mechanic.
killed his
but I don't
character.
think Dungeon World's set for like super long campaigns.
Probably not.
I think it's
I'm
probably
not a big fan of super long ones. Like I want to have a beginning, middle, and end. I
You
want
know,
to
I,
have a story.
I
you
do
know?
want
Like
an
a few
end.
sessions
Like,
and that's
I've
about it.
concluded
Yeah.
very few
Yeah.
of my RPGs.
I like
You know,
I like
that's,
I like
we
I like
probably
both.
played
I
through
like
like 6
the
or 7 sessions. and
I
it
like
wasn't
to
even.
play reoccurringly, but I don't like the story to just drag on. Like I am genuinely heartbroken that I don't know what happened to Barry Allen
We can bring it to an end. We can do it.
because like
He's dead.
that guy had some tribulations and trials. Okay,
I've never heard of that.
You want
that
to talk about trials
mentioned
and
that way.
tribulations?
we,
we
should
need to play
legitimately
Dread.
like write that down.
I agree. It was.
You know, it was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
And
you-
his character actually evolved.
Hey man,
like into something.
last time I tried to get you into
completely
Dread, you
when he
bailed.
shot what's his name
Yeah, I
in the
had to.
head,
That was a turning point. Yeah.
absolutely. He's like, he was Batman, right? Like, I'm not gonna hurt anybody. And then
Yeah.
when you walked into that apartment and he Stan,
Is that my
Stan
apartment?
Sean
Stan
Pike.
Sean Pike.
Was that my apartment?
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah. He's standing. I think he was sitting in a chair, and you just pulled your gun out and shot him. I was like, "Is that real?"
And then he broke down.
Palladius,
Yeah.
the paladin for justice that kept a book of his kills.
He kept a tally.
No, Tim kept a tally of the kills, and then somebody found out.
What
I think
a
it was
s-
Mark Jones that outed me.
What a sociopath.
And then it disappeared.
I will.
Maybe he's just
I
keeping
will
a
just
tally
point
of how
out
many people he justly
that
killed.
I've always kept
that
track
you
of
have
kills.
kept track of kills in literally every RPG
Every
you've ever
RPG.
played. We played Animal Crossing the RPG, and he kept tally.
Why is that important to you?
Did he
I'm a
play?
sociopath, I guess.
That doesn't make you a sociopath.
A psychopath.
Was he a serial killer in Animal Crossing? It's like this goat in the corner.
That's called a
just,
farmer.
That's fair.
What's up, Gerald?
Not if you're a goat though.
You know,
Yes.
I agree that the best stories are the ones that you can finish,
yeah.
right? That's why some people really have a problem with like Game of Thrones with the way characters are handled, because like some characters never get a true end to their story, like Robb Stark, right? Like his story ended, but you're like, where could it have gone?
I mean, I definitely think that's a true ending. I think the way
No, I
it
agree.
went.
No, that,
you know,
I don't
like-
know about it. It's a realistic ending.
yeah,
Yeah.
which some people don't like. They're like, I'd like
It's
to
not,
see
I
him.
can understand it not being
I
an acceptable literary ending.
I loved everything about the Red Wedding. Like that came out of nowhere for me. I was like, what? And it was
That
brutal.
is
It
what
was
a
efficient.
sociopath.
No,
Yeah,
it's okay.
that's a
So
psychopath.
I think
I love. Hey,
I think the hardest
Hey, you
thing
know,
was
you guys
is that
were sitting there like covering your mouths like in awe. I was sitting there like 1, 2, 3.
dude, I had read. Me and Sarah had read the book, so like when that episode was coming, I'm like, oh, they're gonna get it, and then everybody's like, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. The
get
same
to
thing with
experience
John on season 6.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry to
Everyone was
interrupt
like
you.
astounded that he died. I'm like, these books have been out for 20 years. Like,
and
One-
we
never-
one-
all knew this was happening.
So one thing with Red Wedding, I think that you come to realize that like you're led to believe, like in season 1, you're led to believe like Rob was gonna be the main character, and then you realize he's just a character.
Yeah.
That he's just essentially a plot device.
See, that's my biggest complaint about the books. So I mean, like, I know that Tim loves these books, but
Loves
like,
them.
they're not my favorite because I feel like George R. R. Martin wastes a lot of your time on characters that don't matter.
It's very much the we were talking about it last week after the show. It was what's that game where you die and like you start over, basically.
Everyone
All of them.
ever made.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. No, you know what I'm talking about. The,
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like,
Okay, you could have.
don't.
You could have phrased that a lot better.
No, I'm-
start over, but okay.
No, but you like you lose
You
a lot of
wasted
progress.
time. So I mean, that's the exact reason that I didn't like those games.
Right.
Is that I've invested so much time in like Ned Stark in the first book, 3/4 of the book
Listen,
into this
man,
guy.
watching Attack on Titan when
Well, that makes
Billy
his death
Goat got
impactful.
eaten, I was like, holy.
So you can make a death impactful and not waste that much dialogue.
Yeah, but like,
Have you read the books?
I
no,
think,
no, I haven't.
I don't know.
So
But
it's different in the series too. Like it's
Yeah, that's
I feel
fair.
like it's more acceptable in the series than it was in the book.
Well, and I totally understand what you're saying. The thing is, like, Rob's the whole war in the Riverlands from the northern perspective. Like, if you don't have those chapters with Catelyn and Robb, like, you don't hear about it other than like, you know, there was an attack on whatever camp they took. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
hear it like at the small council meetings with Tyrion. So that's the only way you get an insight about what's going on. But whereas in the show, like Rob was never a point of view character, but in the show,
They followed him all the time.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then I'm fine with that. But I understand what you're saying. And
Yeah.
then you're just like, all right, that's over.
And I mean, I'm okay with it because people like the realistic aspect of it. Like, you know, if somebody's put into that situation and they die, they die. It just felt like there's a lot of wasted. You know,
I agree.
Potential.
And
Well,
then
maybe
that's-
not potential, but a lot of wasted effort.
Right.
Well, I don't know, because like if you're trying to tell a story, like even if you're trying to tell in the first book in season 1, trying to tell a story about Ned Stark, even though it's not his story throughout the whole book or whole series, you still want to make it an impactful story.
Well,
so
yeah, but every interaction that characters have, there's a reason for every one of those,
yeah.
right? So
In Game of Thrones, you're
well,
saying.
in any book, there's a reason they're talking to certain people.
Right.
It's
For
set
the
up
most
certain
part,
events.
sometimes
It's-
there is filler, but I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
Well, that's what I mean. It felt more like it's filler.
Oh, okay.
All of it.
I
felt like a
think
waste.
they're meant to. I think they're set up in that way because when a character dies, I feel like you're supposed to grieve for that character. You know what I mean? So like, man, like what Rob could have been. You know what I mean? And I think that's why
Yeah,
you spend all
yeah.
that time to make it hit harder when they die.
But let's be honest. I mean, you've read a couple of fantasy novels now, right? It's kind of the norm to just dump you into it, and you have no idea what's
Yeah.
happening. It takes you 3 books before you even realize that Ned Stark was something significant
Yeah.
to mourn his death. So it's
Yeah,
and I will say, the first time I read Game of Thrones, I was like, "This is garbage. I want nothing to do with it." Then by the third time I read it, I was like, well,
There's a lot of nuance.
nuance.
You know, if
A
you
lot
thought
of
it was
nuance.
garbage, why are you reading it 3 times?
because I really enjoyed the show.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's
So,
also-
so you went back.
He's also
to,
friends with me hearing all
But
the time.
did,
how
did you
great
read
they
it
are.
before the show existed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
See, I read them as a
Okay,
result of the
that makes
show.
more sense. But like
Yeah.
when you say it like that, I'm just like, man, this book
Dude,
was
I read a lot
awful.
of books, though. I read a lot.
Yeah.
You know what game's great that I started playing again?
You know how many comic books I have?
Don't say
Minecraft.
it.
Minecraft.
No
such
one-
a good, it's such a
He
fun
told
game.
me to download, and I was like, "We'll see." That's an adult way of saying no.
I straight up told him no.
I've never played Minecraft.
I've wasted
I-
so
neither
much
have I,
time.
and I never.
Dude,
will,
you know,
probably.
you do kill a bunch of time, but I always hated spawning stuff in. I wanted to find everything.
It
That's-
just looks
that's where I
boring
enjoyed the
to
game.
me. You know,
That's
It's-
the big
it's-
thing about graphics.
it's
Like,
just
it can
a-
be a great game, and it looks like poop, and I don't really want to play it.
I understand.
bigot.
I'm a game
gotta be
bigot.
pretty.
I've always felt I was the other way around. Like if the gameplay was worth it, like the graphics didn't matter as much. I know you're going to come at me.
Yeah, well,
because
you're clearly a
You said
liar.
Because you're a liar
World of
and
Warcraft.
wrong.
I'm not lying.
You
I'm
need-
definitely not wrong.
The game I'm really trying to get into is Red Dead Redemption, and did you bring that by the way?
Yeah, it's in the car.
You're
so,
a liar. You're
you
lying.
know what?
You're,
Get
you're
ready
lying
for
to
a
me.
whole lot of horseback riding.
That is the biggest weakness of that
Whole
game.
Yeah.
The fact that there's not a fast travel.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
and
like-
falling off the
No.
horse.
Well, let me
A lot.
enlighten you. There is a fast.
I know.
No,
the-
you fall off a
the
lot,
caravan,
dude.
right? Or whatever it
It's
is.
Yeah, you
pretty
gotta upgrade
realistic.
your-
Like if you take a turn too sharp, you'll hit a little tree. It's like that big, and you're off.
Yeah, it's
Or
actually
an alligator will jump out, and your horse will just kick you off.
So your horse
If it
didn't love you
wasn't,
enough.
if it wasn't so hilarious,
Dude, my
it would be
horse
frustrating.
loved
But since it's like
No,
you
it's
just get
hilarious the first 48 times it happens.
That's true.
But the 52nd, you're like,
I don't
all right,
feel like I
something's
got
going
thrown
on.
off.
Okay,
my
I want
horse
to
that
know what
much.
happened
I don't think I got
those
bucked
4
all that
times.
I'm
much
not
either.
saying I got
I
everything.
ran into a
How do-
lot
how-
of
have you seen the-
trees.
have you
What is
seen
our
the-
emotional
just
state for those
fly
3
out.
times?
Have you seen those videos? They're so funny. They're running down a road, and the guy just throws like a bale of hay or
Yep.
something in the middle of the road.
Or like
right?
somehow you can't hear trains coming, and you just get run over.
That
Yeah.
never happened to me either.
I don't think I ever got
I
hit
don't know
by
what kind of
train.
life you're
Definitely
living
got-
where you're getting run over by trains.
One of horseback riding.
Dude, all I know,
Riding on a horse.
all I know is
I
that
got
I've got
to
a
the
train
point-
to rob near Valentine, and I don't know where the train is. I don't know where Valentine
I
is.
wanna
I don't
play
even know how I'm
Detroit.
supposed to rob it.
I'll give it. I'll let you borrow.
Dude,
But
It was-
legitimately,
it was
got to
free
the
with
point
a
we
where-
told
PlayStation.
you could have got the
And
PlayStation
legitimate-
Plus and download it for free.
when I was playing Red Dead Redemption, it got to the point where I was excited for horse ride because that meant I could watch a video and not play the game. I'm dead serious.
There are some times it's like, all right, the three of you come with me, and then you just like hold X, and you're like riding on a horse.
Literally
It does take a
10
long time
minutes.
sometimes.
Dude, all I know is that I'm gonna have
It's a great game though.
I'm
It
gonna
really
have
is a great
Old
game.
Town Road playing like on repeat for like 12 hours while I play this
always
game.
knew you were
Adrian
gay.
man found hanging.
What did you say?
Old Adrian man.
Oh, I
found
thought you
hanging.
said ignorant man. But I mean, let's be real. I'm never gonna play it because my brother's never gonna let me borrow it.
Hey, you should play Spider-Man.
Definitely should play Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man's awesome.
You know,
I-
you should
I'd
play
like-
Spider-Man too.
You know, assuming that my brother will let me have it, yeah, I'd love to.
I
haven't played
dream
Spider-Man
about it,
yet?
and I
No, I
realize that I'm not ever gonna play it.
You know what? If you don't play Spider-Man, I'm gonna come to your house and download Minecraft and play it with Jake.
Heck yeah.
All right, well, hang
In-
on, we play
in your
Minecraft
house.
with Jake.
No,
we got
he's
some talking on the Way of Kings, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
That's got to happen.
It's getting that book. I'm gonna be honest. It started off. I was like, man, this is like, because it's so
Different.
I'm sorry.
fantasy.
What book?
The Way of
The
Kings.
Way of Kings.
I've been trying to get Tim to read it for about 3 years.
Yeah, but
I actually bought it for him,
yeah, he did.
Wow. Okay.
and he didn't read it.
Have you ever read the Dresden Files?
Yeah, read all of them.
I love them.
Yeah, they're pretty good books.
Incredible.
I might do those after I'm done. Now I got to read 2 more books after this. So
They're
Is it
so
three
good.
books?
No, it's going to be a 10-book series,
Oh,
but they're
okay.
only 3 books in.
is
Oh,
there one
yeah.
out this
Okay.
year?
I think next year, beginning of next year. Anyways,
There's some really good characters in it.
it's a lot to do with emotional distress. Like, there's a lot of subtext in it to do with mental illness.
well,
and
when I
stuff.
read it again, I think a lot of that stuff will make more sense because like
After the second book, when you go back to read the second book before you read
Reread
anything
it.
over again, because it'll make a lot more sense.
they're big too. Like
Joe
Yeah,
said that we
they're
had to
not
have
small
we have to have an Animal Crossing night.
that's so funny.
Oh God.
Why do the comments come in like that? Like people are commenting the whole time, and then it's
Because you're
just like
crappy internet.
It doesn't auto scroll. I don't know why it doesn't auto scroll.
I hate it, Tony.
I know, me too.
I want it fixed, but it's not your fault.
It's Facebook's
Oh.
fault.
it fit.
No, you know,
I really need to play the
Hey,
Spider-Man game, man.
Real
I
quick,
really
so
need
good.
to.
real quick
So
before we
good,
end, we
really
got
good.
2 weeks till Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pumped for that. We've
That's
got to
gonna
get
be good.
tickets for that. Do
Yeah.
you want to see that?
Yeah, he's
I didn't know you were a Tarantino fan.
He's been talking. We literally
talked
talked about
about
last
it.
like
Have we?
a week
were
ago.
sharing a mic.
We
He
did
kept
talk
trying
about it
to
last
steal
week.
it.
Well, yeah, we talked about it on this podcast.
Yeah, we did.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Talked about
We talk
Tarantino
about a
movies.
lot of stuff on this podcast.
We do.
and I
So
have
I'm
to
a
internalize
good
it.
movie
and
fan, okay?
40K tournament this Saturday.
Yes,
Right?
40K
Okay.
tournament this Saturday. Our Sigmar League is actually going really well.
Is it?
Yeah, except for the guy that doesn't exist.
Yeah. What the heck is that all about?
I don't know. I don't know.
What's-
why.
what's a
I'm
Sigmar?
fairly. It's a god. I'm fairly convinced that someone made a fake, like, application for the Sigmar League.
What's
For the
Sigmar.
basketball league, somebody Ferris filled out a form, and the name was Jake's. What was it? It was Jake's seatless bike ride.
Oh my gosh.
So I'll sign up for the Sigmar League.
No, you didn't.
No, I can. I will.
It's a little late for
You
that.
don't have
I
an
mean,
army.
You're right, I don't.
That's literally what this guy did.
This is exactly what he did with basketball. I think that's what the joke is.
Yeah, he doesn't even have any basketball.
I drafted him, and he's like, I
Listen,
don't want in.
Listen, I told Jake, I told Tim, I don't want to do this. Like, I emphatically do not want to play basketball.
I feel
And he's like, all right, I'll sign you up.
I
That
feel like-
doesn't sound like me at all.
I feel like that night when you came in and Tyler was like, "I'm out." He was like, "Tony, we need you," and you're like, "Fine."
I
Whatever,
110%
is what I said.
believe
Exactly.
that you
Yeah, I
used the
said
word emphatically.
whatever.
He caved.
And then the day came around and I was sick. And I'm like, well, I can't play. And then the next day came around, I'm like, man, I wish I was sick again because I really don't want
I
to
wish
do
I was
this.
sick again.
We're 2-1 now, man. It's,
I don't care.
You're gonna end at least
Who'd you lose
4-2.
to?
Me, of
Lost
course.
to Jake.
Oh.
Well, we played Jake's team on a back-to-back.
Well, dude, I
And
saw
Jake's
that
been talking
picture of
trash
Jake.
for literally a week.
I
and a
saw
half
that
now.
picture of Jake of him just
weeks.
flying through the city. It was incredible. How could you beat that? I don't even know how you let him in like the little
The
basketball
first time
league
Jake
going on.
drove
It's
in the
not
lane,
fair.
I swatted his glasses off.
Yeah, that sucked.
You can't
For-
do that.
I didn't-
I was a foul. I called it.
I didn't really
you
want.
slapped him?
I wanted. To,
You slapped him?
I didn't want to play without
Yeah.
my glasses,
Like in the head.
and I didn't think that anyone would slap me in the face, and I was severely mistaken.
Then you learn,
You should
boy.
file for workman's comp.
Well, I wasn't on the clock. So.
I've
My
No,
boss hits
Twist
me.
tripped me the other
That's
day.
just
I
a-
thought my kneecap exploded. It
See,
was so
That's
painful.
exactly.
It was
I'm
so
like,
painful.
Listen,
I
I'm
shouldn't
getting
laugh
close to
at that.
40, and that would end me.
Dude, I was trying to drive around him, and he I don't know what he did, but he put his leg out, and my knee hit below his knee somehow, and I felt like it exploded. And I bit it, and everybody laughed at me, and I'm laying there.
Did you
in pain.
scorpion? Like your legs kicked the back of your head?
Dude, we need to live stream some of these games because they are like.
We need to
I
not.
don't feel like that would be
me tell you,
entertaining.
I am
It'd just
s-
be like
I
guys
am-
who suck at basketball slapping each other.
I am 100% in Perkle's head, and it's hilarious.
Oh my god.
We just what,
Purple
basically
will
what you're
not
saying.
play you unless he's 100%.
You're like we need to basically just interrupt Tony's life at every possible inconvenience and make him stream for us.
he doesn't have to stream everything.
like,
We
yeah.
could literally Brittany was there taking pictures of Jake. She could have just live streamed the game.
So like usually he streams over to himself, but when he said we should live stream it, he was like,
Basketball, nerd basketball.
that,
yeah.
too?
We can take this whole rig out there too.
The WNBA is probably more entertaining to watch.
I don't know about that.
we need to end this before Brad gets Acropolis in trouble.
Oh god.
All I'm saying is, I think never mind. I couldn't finish that sentence.
So, yeah, 40K tournament this Saturday. Hopefully the air conditioning's working. Are you going to be there?
I will
Are
be
you
there.
Gonna be there?
Yeah,
I will
No,
be
that's-
there with
that's
I will
two
be there with
no's.
my tanks, bro.
That is 2 no's.
Dude, 100% I'm going to be there.
I will give this a 33% chance that one of you make it.
He's good at
Oh,
math.
okay, well then Brad, there's a 33%
Are you
chance that
playing,
you'll make
Jake?
it because
No.
I'm
No, I'll
going to
be
be
here.
You
I'm
remember
going
that
to be
you
here.
played
You're
one time
playing?
and won the tournament?
Yes. I'm
And
bringing
then
my
you,
tanks.
Well,
bro.
then my army got nerfed.
You hung him up after that.
What are you playing?
Well, 60 of my models are unplayable, so I don't know what you want from me. You sold the other 80 models that I was using, so
That was Tony. They were mine.
yeah, at least hold them.
you
and
just,
those are
you
now
just
gone.
sell everything that Jake loves.
Well, those were the
The guy who
stores.
bought them sold them off. He doesn't have them anymore.
my art is being
I
distributed.
told you.
Did he ever
I
tell you
just
that he
saw-
saw it on a battle report?
Yeah, I saw a battle report. I was like, that Demon Prince looks really, really familiar. And when it zoomed in, I was like, that's Tony's Demon Prince.
Shut up, man.
Yeah,
No,
it was.
seriously.
I'm gonna become a name in the community, and I don't even like it.
All right, guys.
Do you remember that?
You played the hell out of Sigma.
Yeah, the
man.
Belcourt,
Like,
when
what-
they were the Nurglings were ripping his guts out, that was hilarious.
That was the best kid I ever made.
Why did you stop?
Tim sold it.
No. There was a particular reason that he stopped, and we can't say it, but I know why he stopped, and it had to do with the newspaper.
No, I stopped playing because I don't want to say bad things about a game you love.
You
I'm
do
a really big man.
literally every time that we speak to each
I
other.
don't like
but
the game. It's boring.
All right, guys. This has been an excellent
I got
episode
you.
37. Very, very good.
I honestly
Enlightening.
don't even know what
What is it,
episode
60?
it is.
Maybe?
You're the
Something like
producer,
that.
Tony. You're supposed to know these things.
I'll find out.
All I do is show up and talk.
It's an episode.
You're supposed to plan this.
We'll
Did
name
you
it
say
later.
all I do is show up
and talk.
and talk?
I
No, that's
really
all he
don't
does,
know what
yes.
it is.
I don't know what it is. either.
37. I
It's
literally
more
just
than a
said it.
year. Shut up. All right,
It's our
guys.
year anniversary show.
If
Yeah.
you do it once a week, it's at least 52.
60, huh?
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We love you.
Yep.
Bye.
Oh.
Riding on a horse.
Talk about a Michigan.